Hi, good morning, and welcome to our meditation on grace. Today is the 25th of November, and we are arriving at the end of chapter 1 of Ephesians. We have been talking about grace for many months now, based first on the book of Romans, the letter that Paul wrote to the Roman church, and now we are meditating on Ephesians. And today I would like to finish chapter 1. And I would like to read again verses 18 and 19. I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, in order that you may know the hope to which he has called you, the riches of his glorious inheritance in his holy people, and his incomparably great power for us who believe. That power is the same as the mighty strength, blah, 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 etc. It continues in verse 20. I would like to in one phrase, we're going to try to say what Paul is saying in these two verses. And this phrase would be like this: I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, so you will know the power, his incomparably great power for us who believe. So we have the illumination here, we have the power, and we have the verb to believe. So there is a relationship here between knowledge and faith. The knowledge that God has given us has to become practical in our lives. That's what he's saying here when he's saying that it's for those who believe. God gave us a great demonstration of this power when he rose Christ from the dead. And he's sitting now at God's right hand. He's all-powerful, and God has demonstrated that power by raising Christ from the dead. And Paul is saying here that that's the power that God has given us. It's very interesting to think that when Jesus was preaching the good news of the gospel, the reaction, the results that we had, that we saw, that the disciples could see, the results were very, very different. Some people would convert to Christ that day, and some others would abandon him forever. When you read John chapter 6, and after the multiplication of the bread and the fish, Jesus is preaching about himself, and that's when he's starting in the book of John, saying that he is, I am. And there he's going to say that he is the bread of life. I am the bread of life. And then he is going to preach about the importance of eating of himself, of having a relationship with him, of feeding our souls, our spirit from him. And at the end of that message, lots of those people, most people who were there, nearly every one of them, will leave and say, this is too difficult. And then Peter is going to say, to whom shall we go? You are the one who have the words of eternal life. We can say that Peter became a real disciple, a real Christian that day. But what about the other people? They all left. So the same message had different results. Some people say that the more Jesus spoke about himself, the more his church became empty. The mega church of the day when he fed those 5,000 men, not counting the women and children, the day that he did that, he had a mega church, a huge church. The next day, his church came down to 12 people, 12 men. And John says that one of them was a demon, was an enemy, Judas. So Jesus ended up having only 11 people in his church. We receive the revelation, but we have to believe. to think about it and to believe. It's very important. This power is for those who believe, says Paul. It is to receive, isn't it? To believe. It is to practice what you have received. Jesus said that in the book of John that he was the door, and also that he was the way. As he said, I am the bread of life. He said, I am the door and I am the way. You know that Jesus is the door now, and you know that he is the way. He has revealed himself to you. So now you have to believe, and to believe is to walk through that door and walk in the way that Jesus is. That is what you have to do. The Spirit to give us the revelation, but we think about it and then we practice what God is asking us to do. What about this power? Why God has given us such a great power? It might not be for you to tell to the sugar loaf between the Bay of Rio and the Atlantic. It's not for you to tell that mountain, that big rock, to throw itself into the bay. It is a much greater power than that. It's a power that is going to transform your life forever. It's a power that is going to give you the strength to forgive what you cannot forgive by yourself. Remember what Jesus said in the book of Matthew, that we should pray for those who persecute us. We should bless those who curse us. We need God's power to do that, to love with God's love. So God has given you his grace, has given you his love, has given you his power. So now just love. Go out there and love and forgive and pray for those who persecute you. God bless you.